Okay, they're all coming. Oh, they were in the elevator together. My goodness. No, there was a party. You all had breakfast and I wasn't invited. And neither was Jim. All right, Mr. Mainshine, we'll ask you to take the... And we have a quorum. Very excellent.
Bonilla.
Here.
Jones.
Here.
Baker. Bloom. Campos.
How are you? Good, buddy.
Chang. Dodd. Eggman. Gatto. Holden. Mullen. Ting. Wilk.
Here.
Wood.
Here. Thank you.
All right, we do have a quorum. Just a quick announcement. I do have a bill. Normally I would wait until the end to present, but I have witnesses that will arrive shortly, and when they do arrive, we'll go ahead and hear that item. Mr. Mainshine, good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to be back to BMP.
It's good to be back, Madam
We're
Chair.
eager to hear your bill, and it's AB 317, correct? Or do you have two?
I have two, actually,
All right,
Madam Chair.
start with the 316.
316?
Yeah.
Thank you, Madam Chair and members. I would like to open by thanking the Chair and committee staff for working with me and my office to strengthen this bill with the committee amendments, and I will gladly accept them as author's amendments. Large-scale animal cruelty cases like animal fighting and hoarding create unexpected financial hardships on the authorities maintaining the animals. Unlike other investigations, animals are an expensive piece of evidence requiring care, food, and attention. The ASPCA estimates the average animal cruelty case consists of 461 animals at a cost of $26 per animal per day. The average case lasts around 45 days, leading to an average cost exceeding $500,000 to care for these animals. And obviously this can exhaust local responders as well. AB 316 will allow a law enforcement agency, animal control department, or a humane officer to request the assistance of veterinarians licensed in other states to assist during a cruelty case. It also allows for the establishment of a temporary shelter facility to house seized animals for up to 60 days and will assist local agencies in handling cases of terrible animal abuse by ensuring the safety of animals and vets. Here to speak on behalf of my bill is Kevin O'Neill of the ASPCA, which is a vital organization for protecting and supporting animals across California and the U.S.
Welcome.
Good morning, Madam Chair and members. Kevin O'Neill with the ASPCA. Thank you for the opportunity to hear this bill today. The ASPCA has, in our long history, one of the things that we do is respond to these types of cases. We have an animal response team that deploys. Just recently, we were asked by the FBI and the U.S. Attorney's Office to deploy to the southeast to help investigate a dogfighting case that resulted in about 340 dogs being seized. Those animals place a huge strain on the local government to try to care for those animals, as Assemblyman Mainshine has mentioned. And this bill will offer local authorities here in California the ability to utilize our services in the event of a cruelty case. And we thank Assemblyman Mainshine for bringing this bill forward for us.
Thank you. Anyone else in support of the bill? Seeing none, any opposition? Seeing none, any questions from the committee? So we've got a motion and a second, and this is a do pass as amended to appropriations. We'll take a vote.
Bonilla.
Aye.
Bonilla, aye. Jones.
Aye.
Jones, aye. Baker. Baker, aye. Bloom. Campos. Campos, aye. Chang. Chang, aye. Dodd. Dodd, aye. Eggman. Gatto. Holden. Mullen. Ting. Wilk.
Aye.
Wilk, aye. Wood. Wood, aye.
8-0, the measure's out. And now we can go on to 317.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And I also, again, want to thank you and the committee staff for working with me to strengthen this bill with committee amendments, and I will accept those amendments as author's amendments.
Thank you.
States can be overwhelmed when impacted by a disaster, as seen in the wake of Katrina in Louisiana and Hurricane Sandy in New York and New Jersey. And the need for temporary shelters was made clear at those times. Sandy, in fact, displaced thousands of people and pets, caused nearly 300 deaths, and plunged parts of the U.S. into darkness for weeks. And these events show that even states as diverse as New York, Louisiana, New Jersey, and Mississippi can be overwhelmed when disaster strikes and require assistance from out-of-state responders. It also demonstrates the need to deploy resources to provide displaced or lost animals with proper care and shelter. Responding animal welfare agencies like the ASPCA establish temporary shelters to house these animals. And recent polls have shown that over 40% of Americans would not evacuate without their pets. These people would rather face the dangers than simply abandon them, complicating efforts to respond to a disaster. And this bill is a crucial step toward ensuring the well-being of California's pets and animals in the wake of natural disasters. And here also on this item, I have with me Kevin O'Neill of the ASPCA.
Thank you very much. Do we have a motion? Second. All right, a motion and a second. And seeing no support, no opposition, and no questions, this looks like a great measure. Thank you for taking care of our animals in that case of emergency. I think local governments also would really appreciate, coming from the county, you from a city, we know the burden that places on local government, and thank you for all those organizations that step up in these times of emergency, and we want to clear the way for that care to be provided. Thank you so much, and we'll take a vote. And it's a do pass as amended again to appropriations.
Bonilla?
Aye.
Bonilla, aye. Jones?
Aye.
Jones, aye. Baker?
Aye.
Baker, aye. Bloom? Aye. Bloom, aye. Campos? Aye. Campos, aye. Chang?
Aye.
Chang, aye. Dodd? Aye. Dodd, aye. Eggman? Gotter? Holden? Mullen? Ting? Wilk?
Aye.
Wilk, aye. Wood? Yes. Wood, yes.
He just woke up on the wrong side of the bed or something.
Oh, Wilk is
9-0, the bill's out.
Thank you, Madam Chair and members.
Okay. Looks like our next author that we have here is Mr. Gallagher. Correct? Mr. Gallagher, you have AB 281.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. Members, I'm proud to present AB 281, which will establish a disciplinary review committee, which a licensed repossessor could voluntarily opt into to contest the assessment of an administrative fine or to appeal a denial of a license. I am pleased to accept as authors the amendments discussed in the committee analysis. Currently, licensed repossessors who want to contest the assessment of an administrative fine or to appeal the denial of a license must embark on a process that can take sometimes upwards more than a year to obtain final resolution. Disciplinary Review Committee, as I'm proposing, will save the licensee time because matters can be resolved more quickly. A DRC will also save the Department of Consumer Affairs time and money so it does not have to go through the more expensive adjudicatory route. A licensee who disagrees with the DRC decision will be able to return to the current process. What's more, at the Sunset Review hearing we held just last month, the Bureau of Security and Investigative Services noted the value of DRCs that currently exist for security guards and alarm companies. So we know this process works. AB 281 would also make 3 additional revisions to the Collateral Recovery Act that governs licensed repossessors. The first would amend a section of the Act that was missed when AB 791 by Assemblymember Hagman was enacted in 2013 and removed an outdated provision in law that authorized repossessors to make demands for payment in lieu of repossession. It is not a repossessor's role to act as a facilitator between the creditor and the debtor by taking money from the debtor in lieu of repossessing a vehicle. So this cleans that up. The second change would remove the authorization in the Act for licensed repossessors to perform repair work on vehicles and charge owners. This activity also falls outside the purview of their license and is more properly governed by licensure under the Bureau of Auto Repair.
I'll move the bill.
Thank you.
And the third you can probably read about. But again, AB 281 is sponsored by the California Association of Licensed Repossessors, and I do have Jerry Desmond and Joey Collins here on behalf
Surfacing from the weeds, we will hear from support.
Okay.
Jerry Desmond, Jr., Chair and members, on behalf of the California Association of Licensed Repossessor. As per the author, we think the bill would establish a reasonable, effective, and efficient procedure that will save time and money, and here to answer any questions. Thank you.
Thank you. And do we have someone else in support?
Joe Collins from the California Association of Licensed Repossessors, and I'm here to answer any technical questions you may have regarding the bill.
Thank you. Well, there's lots we'd like to know about repossessing, but those probably aren't appropriate questions for the hearing. I don't see anyone else in support. Any opposition? Seeing none, and no curious committee members. And we have a motion and a second. We'll take a vote. Thank you. Do pass is amended to appropriations.
Bonilla.
Aye.
Bonilla, aye. Jones. Jones, aye. Baker. Baker, aye. Bloom. Bloom, aye. Campos. Campos, aye. Chang. Chang, aye. Dodd. Dodd, aye. Eggman. Gatto. Gatto, aye. Holden. Mullen. Ting. Wilk.
Yes.
Wilk, yes. Wood. Wood, aye.
Ten to 0. The measure's out.
All right. Thank you, Madam Chairman.
Yes. All right. Do we have another author? How about on the committee? We can do consent calendar. Do I have a motion on the consent calendar? This includes AB 43 and AB 1107. We have a motion and a second on consent. We'll take a vote. Oh, Mr. Lackey. Wonderful.
Bonilla.
Aye.
Bonilla, aye. Jones. Baker. Baker, aye. Bloom.
Consent calendar.
Bloom, aye. Campos. Campos, aye. Chang. Chang, aye. Dodd. Dodd, aye. Eggman. Gatto. Gatto, aye. Holden. Mullen. Ting. Wilk. Wilk, aye. Wood. Wood, aye.
9 to 0. Consent passes. Mr. Lackey, welcome. We'll hear AB 236. Thank you.
Thank you, and good morning, Madam Chair and members. AB 236 is a simple bill that corrects an unforeseen consequence of Senate Bill 485 passed in 2013. Senate Bill 485 attempted to curtail the trade of illegal metals by recyclers and junk dealers and required them to pay a $500 fee to the California Department of Food and Agriculture. CDFA approached pawnbrokers during 2014, asserting that Senate Bill 485 made them subject to being waymasters. California pawnbrokers are among the most regulated business models in our entire state. However, they are not waymasters. Pawnbrokers have their own user fee-funded database that was required by Assembly Bill 391 in 2012 and report and hold all of their transactions for law enforcement. We believe, after consultation with industry and CDFA, that Assembly Bill 236 in its amended form clarifies this issue. I have Bill Duplicia, representing the California Pawnbrokers Association, with me to answer any questions that you might have.
Second.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second in support.
Madam Chairman and members, Bill Duplicia, representing the California Pawnbrokers Association. As often happens, bills are interpreted incorrectly. Pawnbrokers are not waymasters for a variety of reasons, the largest of which probably is they don't deal in commodities, they deal in tangible personal property. I'd ask for your support for this necessary bill. Thank you.
Thank you. And in support.
Madam Chair and members, Carl Brackensick on behalf of the California Coin and Bullion Merchants Association in support of the bill.
All right. Very good. Anyone else in support? Any opposition? Seeing none and no questions from the committee, we'll go ahead and we have a motion and a second. This is a due passes amended to appropriations, and you did say, oh, no, this is due pass. There are no amendments. That's what I was going to check on. Thank you. Due pass to appropriations.
Bonilla.
Aye.
Bonilla, aye. Jones. Baker. Baker, aye. Bloom. Bloom, aye. Campos. Campos, aye. Chang. Chang, aye. Dodd. Dodd, aye. Eggman. Gatto. Gatto, aye. Holden. Mullen. Ting. Mullen, aye. Ting. Wilk.
Aye.
Wilk, aye. Wood.
Wood.
Wood, aye.
10 to 0. The measure's
Thank
out.
you, ma'am.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone.
Seeing no other authors present. Mr. Wood, are you prepared to present? AB 320, item 7 on the agenda.
Very good.
We have a motion and a second. Mr.
Great.
Wood.
Thank you, Chair and members. I'd like to begin by accepting the committee's amendments that would clarify the practice of the title for environmental engineers. California leads the world in environmental policies and has implemented some of the most comprehensive environmental regulations in the world. We also lead the world in climate change as well. Yet our state is an anomaly. California does not offer a pathway to licensure for environmental engineers. 48 other states test and provide a licensing path for environmental engineers. California and Hawaii are the only 2 states that do not license or regulate the practice. Logically, we should have been the first, but I'd be happy to settle for 49th at this point. Currently, environmental engineers practice without official licensure regulations. As environmental protection programs continue to expand in scope and complexity, testing and certification of environmental engineers are needed to establish benchmarks for competency. Regulations will provide protections for the public. It ensures that when a licensed environmental engineer is hired for a project, the engineer will have met the minimum standards of the profession. AB 320 adds environmental engineers to the list of professional engineers within the Professional Engineers Act. The bill provides a pathway to licensure for a person that wants to specifically be an environmental engineer. A separate title is needed because environmental engineers carry out tasks specific to soil science, chemistry, and biology, solving environmental problems by using their knowledge of engineering, pollution control, recycling, and public health issues. The current list of professional engineers do not cover these job duties, nor are they trained to do so. A registered and licensed environmental engineer is better than the alternative, which is no regulation of the practice at all, which we currently have. This bill provides a path to licensure as environmental engineers for those professional engineers who do not fit under the scope of the existing practice and title acts. Here in support is Steve Baker, representing professional engineers in California government. Mr. Baker.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Steve Baker with Aaron Reed & Associates for the professional engineers in California government. I think Assemblyman Wood did a great job summarizing what the bill does. I'd note that there's 9 universities in the state that offer environmental engineering as a curriculum. We understand that the Board of Registration has some concerns with the overall use of the title acts in general. They don't believe that's necessarily the best way of regulating a profession. However, proposals to make changes to all of those other 9 have failed in the legislature over the years. We think that this is the best way of dealing with this given the current framework for the programs, so we respectfully request your support.
Others in support? In opposition?
I'm Nancy Eisler. I'm the Assistant Executive Officer of the Board for Professional Engineers, Land Surveyors, and Geologists. The board discussed this bill last week at its meeting and voted to take an opposed position. The board reconfirmed its 20-year standing position that regulating only the title and not the actual practice related to it does not provide sufficient public protection. This bill indicates that it is important to protect the public relating to environmental engineering, but this bill would not do that. In addition, the amendments that are proposed would allow other licensees who have not demonstrated any experience, education, or testing in environmental engineering to use that title, which seems to go against the stated reasons for the proposal.
Good morning, Madam Chair and committee. I'm Rick Moore. I'm the Executive Officer for the Board for Engineers, Land Surveyors, and Geologists. We would like to ask the author to consider and the sponsor to consider more of this, more of a practice act and move in that direction. The board would be willing to work that direction rather than Title Act, primarily because the Title Act does not protect the public.
Thank you. Anyone else in opposition? Don't see anyone else. Any questions from the committee? Question to the author. Did you accept the amendments?
I did. I'm sorry.
Thank you. No questions from the committee members? All right, we'll vote. Do pass as amended to appropriations.
Bonilla.
Aye.
Bonilla, aye. Jones. Baker. Baker, aye. Bloom. Bloom, aye. Campos. Campos, aye. Chang. Chang, aye. Dodd. Dodd, aye. Eggman. Eggman, aye. Gatto. Gatto, aye. Holden. Mullen. Mullen, aye. Ting. Wilk.
Yes.
Wilk, yes. Wood.
Aye.
Wood, aye.
Eleven to 0. Measures out. Thank you. Mr. Ridley Thomas, I believe you have 3 bills before us today.
It's a three-fer.
Let's start with item number 13. Is that the first one?
If we can start with 1175, I'd be most appreciative, Madam
Okay.
Chair.
1175.
This is AB 1175. Chair and colleagues, this bill will provide fiscal certainty to the Bureau of Electronic and Appliance Repair, Home Furnishings, and Thermal Insulation by raising the statutory ceiling for licensing fees. The Bureau's fees are currently at the ceiling for a majority of licenses. Since the last fee increase, operational costs have increased in all areas, and the Bureau's budget is facing challenges. If the Bureau were allowed to enter into a deficit, the result would be reduced services, slower response time to consumer complaints, delayed time frames for licensure and renewal, and decreased disciplinary action. The Bureau's paramount mandate is consumer protection, and without taking away their ability to adequately perform these actions would put the Bureau in direct conflict with this mandate. To avoid this conflict, we need the Bureau to give the Bureau ability to enact future or respond rather to future financial needs by raising the minimum fee ceiling.
All right, we have a motion and a second.
Here today is Justin Paddock, the Chief of the Bureau, for any questions. And this bill is sponsored by DCA. They brought it to our attention, and we know how important this Bureau is for protecting consumers in their homes.
Yes, thank you. In support?
Officially, we don't have a support position, but I'm here to answer any
questions.
technical questions you have.
Well, thank you. Seeing as how the last time these fees were raised was 1978 and 1998, we may have cause to take action.
I'm not going to tell you how old I was in 1998, Madam Chair.
I hope you were born. Okay.
Barely.
We have a motion and a second. This is a due pass to appropriations.
Bonilla.
Aye.
Bonilla, aye. Jones. Baker. Baker, aye. Bloom. Bloom, aye. Campos. Campos, aye. Chang. Dodd. Dodd, aye. Eggman. Eggman, aye. Gatto. Gatto, aye. Holden. Mullen. Mullen, aye. Ting. Wilk.
Nay.
Wilk, no. Wood. Wood, aye.
Nine to 1, the bill's out.
Thank you very much.
All right, now let's go on to AB 880. Is that fine, or which one?
Yeah, that's fine. 880 is fine.
Okay, 880, item number 13 on the agenda. Is that right? Yeah. Okay.
All righty, Madam Chair, members, presenting AB 880, which would permit students enrolled in their final year of completion at a California dental school approved by the Dental Board to participate and treat patients under supervision of licensed dentists at free healthcare clinics. The best example of this is the remote area medical clinic in Los Angeles, and I think there's one in San Diego. It's a stadium, 5,000 people show up, start lining up early in the morning. We got to get access to care. Even in an environment where we have expanded care, there obviously is not enough. This is a common sense measure to do so. I have witnesses in support.
Thank you very much. Witnesses in support.
Gary Cooper, representing the Oral and Facial Surgeons of California. We're the sponsor. We are in support, and with me is Dr. Steve Fredrickson from Western University to answer technical questions about the clinics that are on campus currently and that will perform the same way that the healthcare clinics, the sponsored healthcare clinics, will be in the community. So any questions is for Dr. Fredrickson.
Thank you. Others in support?
Pam Congdon, I'm the volunteer president of California Care Force, which used to be RAM California Remote Area Medical, and we provide free healthcare clinics to the non-and underinsured and underserved communities of California.
Dr. Steve Leedy. I'm an oral surgeon and practice in Auburn, and I'm on the board of directors for California Oral and Facial Surgeons.
All right. Anyone else in support? Any opposition? Seeing none, questions from the committee? Mr. Wood.
Yeah, I have a couple of questions and a concern. It's no secret that I'm a dentist, and I've participated in a number of these free clinics through the California Dental Association over the years. I think one of my concerns is that these are rapid fire, trying to provide as much care as possible to patients in an environment where we're subsiding on a lot of contributions from the community to make these things go and to be as efficient as we can. And I would really personally like to see that, certainly as a practicing dentist, if a dental student were to be with me in the restorative section where I'm most comfortable, I'm not always comfortable in a position of being a proctor at that point. And so I would prefer, quite frankly, to see that there is faculty support to supervise these dentists, and it would. I know that that's been offered. I know that Noe Park from UCLA made that recommendation. I just believe that.
You mean on site?
On site, yes,
Okay.
sir.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I would feel most comfortable with that as well.
Is the author comfortable accepting that? Because I think it's critically
We
important.
can't make any amendments at this time, but if you'd like to make a commitment to work towards that end.
Of course, yeah, and it's not explicitly mentioned, but it is under the supervision. I mean, it's a student, so that's kind of the implicit assumption.
We can look at amendments on the final page
I guess
of the report.
Yeah, we're accepting those amendments.
Page 6, and you're accepting
yeah,
the amendments.
we'll accept the, I think there's 7 or 8 amendments. We will be accepting those. Yes, Madam Chair and Mr. Wood.
I apologize that is one of the
It's
amendments.
okay. I didn't mention that in my opening remarks, but that.
No,
that
I don't
do
think
accept.
that answers your
No.
concern. So I think there would have to be an agreement between the author and the member.
I'm more than open to, Madam Chair.
Yeah, I just fundamentally believe that those dentists that are there to volunteer and work may not have the skill, care, and judgment to deal with students and some of the challenges. We're dealing in these clinics with some people who have some very significant needs.
Yes.
And it's important that the students are going to get a great experience, but the protection of the public is paramount here. So I firmly believe that we need that.
And I don't know if the amendment on page 2, line 6, which is the first recommended in the analysis, it says with the faculty appointment, deals with the dental concerns, because I think that reaches both. But if that doesn't do enough for you, we'll continue to work on it, because we changed per the recommendation of the committee, we changed just the reference to dentist to a dentist with a faculty appointment right after that dentist, so it would imply that you're then under the supervision of a faculty person.
On site.
On site, yes. So it changes in that sense.
Okay.
But if it doesn't satisfy you, we'll continue to work on that, Madam Chair.
I'd be happy to continue working.
That was I guess that was the intention of the amendment, but we want to make sure it's clear.
All right. Yeah, we don't mind clarifying that.
Very good. All right. Seeing no other questions from committee members, we do have a motion and a second, I believe. And this is a do pass as amended.
Correct.
With the commitment to continue to work with Assemblymember Wood to clarify that issue to appropriations.
Got it.
Bonilla.
Aye.
Bonilla, aye. Jones. Baker. Baker, aye. Bloom. Bloom, aye. Campos. Campos, aye. Chang. Chang, aye. Dodd. Dodd, aye. Eggman. Eggman, aye. Gatto. Gatto, aye. Holden. Mullen. Mullen, aye. Ting. Wilk.
Aye.
Wilk, aye. Wood.
Aye.
Wood, aye.
11-0, the measure's out. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. We'll move on now to AB 940, Clinical Laboratories, item number 14 on the agenda.